Sean, wait, what did I do? Oh, is it because he's like streaming on Twitch or something? Is that because of me? Did I do that? I don't think I did that. Melengote. Yeah, and of course, his policies, Zoran's policies, are very they're very popular nationwide. And there's a different type of Zoran out there for every city, each according to their needs, right? So, that's where we're at. But before we talk further about Zoran's tax policy and the hubbub surrounding it and the anger surrounding Zoran's actually pretty solid tax policy, Fox News. Fox News has decided to put me in the crosshairs once again, as I talked about earlier. They're doing like multiple daily hits at this point, which I personally appreciate. I like it. I'm excited for it every time because while that might not while that might not get all the MAGA boomers to listen to what I have to say, right? They might be fearful of who I am and what I'm saying and what I'm doing. There are definitely boomers on the other side that have a negative opinion of Fox News and have a negative opinion of right wing politics, Trump, who hate Trump just as much as I do, who will hear some of these words coming from the mouth of a Fox News host and go, I kind of like what this guy has to say. There's a negative polarization that takes place in these moments, and therefore I welcome this stuff, right? Now, if I was a different person, if this was a different time, if, for example, I did not have the opportunity to reach my own audience organically, and that I was limited to whatever mainstream media was saying about me, and I had no way to retort. Obviously, this would be devastating. If the large majority of people only encounter what you have to say through a negative filter, they're going to develop a negative attitude. But that's not the case any longer. A lot of people have access to the internet. A lot of people are actually interested in getting or incorporating independent outlets into their media diet, even old people. And therefore, when this kind of stuff happens, people don't just watch it and go, well, I'm horrified. I'm not going to look into this person, right? They do the opposite. Many people do the opposite. So this quote: empires never die quietly, and we must end the American empire regardless. But we must manage the retreat of a superpower from the world stage. This is a challenge for our time. Actually, this is the challenge for our time. Why is it so
Because if
low?
we do not do this, then the American empire will come to an end in a much more violent way.
The part that he doesn't mention is that he's rooting for the destruction of the country. The ideas that they're introducing now, this new socialist movement, and they get a lot of support. Zoran Mandani, who's only been an American for about 7 years, became a citizen, and he got elected on these platforms that totally disagree with our value system. They don't want law
Anti-American streamer warns American empire will end. Yeah.
order, right? They believe that if you work hard in this country, you get a good job, and you get a little bit of wealth, that the government should be able to strip that away and give it to someone else. They don't believe in national defense. They believe we should just allow the enemy in and deal with the consequences there. That will destroy this country, and they're rooting for it to take place because they believe that at our core, we're a racist country.
Yes.
And you can't have those people run.
They love communism. They're glad that 9/11 happened.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Awesome, dude. And what's even better, wait, there's more? Oh, this is the Laura Ingraham. Hassan Piker is hinting at civil war. That's back to back, baby. That's crazy. Yeah, and it's pretty funny that Brian Kilme's sitting there in the corner going,
I'm Brian Kilme. I'm Brian Kilme.
it's funny. I that's expected. That's expected. No matter what happens. I need you to understand something, okay? They're not they're not offended at what I'm saying. They're offended at the entire worldview that I represent. So, from that perspective, they're going to do everything they can. They're going to do everything they can to disparage the messenger. They're going to bastardize the messenger. They're going to chop it up. Okay? What is this? They want you on the Sean Hannity podcast? Fox and Friends? I want to see him in a debate. I told Sean, invite him on your podcast. I don't even know if he lived through 9/11. I want someone who's brilliant, who can say that to him that will happen. Oh, there was more. There was more.
You didn't hear it in that soundbite, but he got applause at Yale for his literally, he's the tale of America. Invited number one and number two, he says it and gets applause.
I want to see him in a debate. I told Sean, I said, invite him on your podcast because I want a long format. I want him to understand what he is.
I would love that. Oh my God, I would love that. Oh hell. Oh hell yes. Oh my God. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're gonna be like,
Do not come.
and I'm gonna be like,
I'm going to come.
you know what I'm saying? That's what it's gonna be like. I'm just saying,
I'm going to come.
reach out immediately before they forget. Yes. Did you see the highlight reel from Fox? No, not yet. We're gonna look at that in a second. I didn't even know that there was more additional commentary on this.
Saying, I don't think he's lived through communism. He hasn't lived through, I don't even know if he lived through 9/11. How old is he? He looks young.
Yeah, he's right.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God, the glaze. Oh my God. Fox News, I'm blushing. Oh my Lord. They said, I got gray beard hairs. And I got this is the oldest I can possibly look, right? Because, like, there's different variants. If I shave all of it off, including the mustache, I look like a child. It's horrible. Everyone makes fun of me. If I shave the beard off, or if it's at least like a little scruffy, I de-age by like a decade. So it's pretty funny that she thinks that I'm not 34 years old. Bro, she literally said you look younger than 25. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's wild that she thought I was younger than 25. That's wild. Damn, I don't even use any like facial creams or nothing. I don't got no. I'm so happy to live in this time. Yeah.
I just want him to understand the consequences for what he's saying and what would happen if America did fall. Where would he go if America fell?
But the thing is, Lindsay, people like that are uncoachable.
I want to know. I want to know why he believes this.
Oh, Brian's like, no. Sean should not debate him.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
Oh no! Wait, hold up, Brian. No, Sean will destroy me. He will destroy me in the marketplace of ideas. Let me do it. Let me do it.
Huh?
I want to know why he believes this, and I want someone who understands these issues, who is brilliant, who can say to him, "What you're saying, this is what."
Who's brilliant? And then the person that she's using as a brilliant orator is Sean Hannity.
What will happen if America falls? This is what will happen if America becomes a communist country.
All right.
Oh my God, I'm licking my lips, dude. Oh my God. I give Sean Hannity a kissy poo. Yeah, Sean Hannity, known brilliant person. Oh my Lord. All right, then there's more that we got. You shouldn't debate him. Such a bad idea. He'll make you look so bad and destroy your position. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm scared. I'm so scared about that. I would hate that. I would hate that. I would hate for that to happen. I would never do that. I'm terrified. Okay, I want to know. Okay. Oh, this is Sean Hannity's fiance. I would hate to get destroyed in the marketplace of ideas by the likes of Sean Hannity. I love that she is glazing her fiance, which is cute. That's cute. You know there's no way that that's going to be. I would hate to get destroyed in the marketplace of ideas by the likes of Sean Hannity. Oh yeah, the one where Trump leaked their relationship. Yeah, that's the one. If you get invited, you'd be forced to do it. You'd hate that, but you'd do it. Yeah, I would hate it. I added him. Chad. I did. I did. Um, I did. I already did. Fox and Friends first covered you too. What the fuck is going
Shift
on,
gears
man?
now to
What the fuck? What is happening, bro? Why? Why is there so much? What? I don't understand it. It's like I know liberals think it's because like my ideas are terrifying because they think it's bad and terrifying. So like liberals think like oh they're glazing or they're highlighting Hassan because they want to like use Hassan as a cudgel, except like it hasn't worked, right? It hasn't really worked, and I think part of it is because these guys have a much more conservative estimate on like where America's anger and resentment is right now. Like they think independents are resentful of America because like I guess Trump is not conservative enough or something. Like no, they're resentful and angry for the same reasons that I'm resentful and angry. Like you can try to disparage me all day every day and be like, no, he just like hates America. If I hated America, I'd be excited at what Donald Trump is doing, right? Like I'd be so elated at the prospect. I'd be like, wow, look at Donald Trump punishing the heartland. Look at Donald Trump robbing the poor blind, robbing his own supporters in the Rust Belt, robbing his own supporters in places like West Virginia, ensuring that they don't get a leg up, ensuring that their infrastructure is never fixed, and wasting away all of that productive output, all of those resources on Israel, you know? Fantastic. And doing it in this incredibly shitty way where he's also failing on the main stage, right? Like he's crippling the force projection capabilities of American empire. He's almost single-handedly destroying the petrodollar, right? So great. You know, if I hated America, I'd be a Trump supporter. I'd be dick riding Trump into oblivion. I think a lot of people have that anger and resentment, and since Donald Trump actually won the election and has been governing like a madman for the last 2 years, many Americans have realized, even those who voted for him, some, right, especially the independents and the swing voters and whatnot that voted for him, have now recognized that, oh no, it wasn't actually the trans people or the immigrants that we were dominating that was causing all of this, all of these issues, right? Perhaps there's an alternative out there. And the Democrats don't actually fill that void. The Democrats are refusing to communicate where this frustration is coming from, right? They're refusing to explain correctly why Americans are feeling the pain, perhaps even a worsened version of the pain that they felt even under Biden. You know? Hassan, instead of spending a whole time defending shit you said, you should bring up some Sean Hannity controversy and grill him on it. I mean, yeah, there will be a little bit of that too in this situation like that. Hold on, I gotta pee.
far-left Twitch streamer Hassan Piker, who made some controversial comments while speaking at Yale University. Listen here, and then we'll get your reaction on the other side.
It's an interesting resolution. End the U.S. empire. It's interesting because how do you end something that's already in the process of dying? Because that's the situation with the American empire as it stands today.
So, as you heard, he makes it seem like America's downfall is inevitable. It's going to happen, and that it's on my generation to figure it out and sort of mitigate the damage. Your reaction to what he said there?
Well, Nate, not only what Hassan Piker just said there, but I think I heard cheers from that audience at Yale, so scratch off another school that my daughter and son aren't going to go to. That's certainly for sure. It'll be a real hoot seeing Hassan Piker be the keynote speaker at the Democratic National Convention one day, won't it? Because more and more Democrats are lining up to be on this Maniacs podcast. Ilhan Omar was just on there this week. Ro Khanna, last week, AOC, Zohra Mandani, even the New York Times, Ezra Klein, just recently gave him the written version of what you could call, I guess, a hot stone massage in a piece titled, let's see, Hassan Piker is not the enemy. Oh, I'm pretty sure he's the enemy, considering that this is the same guy who was rooting.
Again, an enemy to what? An enemy to you? Absolutely. An enemy to the people? I don't think so. I think people are smarter than we give them credit. I think Americans are smarter than we give them credit. Okay? As long as someone is just telling the truth, eventually more and more Americans will hear that over and over again, and they'll start recognizing that there is an alternative vision out there. There is an alternative trajectory that we could be on. One that actually doesn't destroy this country. Okay? One that maybe even manages the decline that we're experiencing currently. Because we are experiencing a decline. Things are not working. Donald Trump was able to identify that pain, was able to identify that resentment, and then he channeled it to unproductive outlets, vulnerable populations. He took that anger that people were feeling at a time when the liberal side was seemingly communicating that there was nothing to be angry at all, that the system was fine, that we were just going to do business as usual politics, right? So, put me in front of people, coach. I think the more they see it in an unfiltered manner, the more they hear this message in an unfiltered manner, the more they will recognize that while some of these concepts might come across as foreign, right, at first, to the uninitiated, or to those who have been taught to hate these sorts of concepts, right? Who have this unnecessary antagonism towards the word socialism, the word communism. They don't even think about it. They're like, this is an enemy thing. This is an enemy thing. It's fine. Those labels are unnecessary at the end of the day. I just want you to have health care. I want you to have a better future. I want you to have education. I want I want this country, the wealthiest country on the planet, to do better for all of its citizens and not just work at the behest of these lifeless, baseless, parasitic corporations that have loyalty to no one but generating profits. Okay?
For the violent fall of this country and just did again recently. The same guy who said America deserved 9/11, the same guy who calls Jews inbreds, that's a quote, and the same guy who quotes Hamas and supports them 1,000 times more than Israel. So if Democrats want to make Hassan Piker its next team mascot in an effort,
like if they just kept it at like, oh, he calls Jews inbreds, like I think more people would probably be like, wow, that's fucked up. Why did he say that? But when they actually end up associating like a bunch of anti-Israel comments right at the end of that, not to give them, tips on how to do better fuck us on propaganda, but like when they do that, people understand that it's not, oh shit, never mind, it's not, this is probably not about Jews at all. It's probably about Israel in general, right?
to capture more anti-American, anti-Semitic voters. Roll the dice and take your chances, guys. But this is not somebody they should want to be aligned with yet. They keep lining up to be on this podcast. Go figure.
Yeah, and he just called Republicans.
It's just funny because, like, this literally failed with Trump. Like, I'm not obviously running for office, right? But this is unironically what the liberals try to do with Donald Trump, where they were like, oh, he says so many offensive things. He says so many terrifying things, right? And people didn't give a shit because they understood what he was talking about. He called the Republicans what? Terrorists.
The biggest domestic terrorists in the country on the Pod Save America podcast. And I mean, it should be emphasized with an underline that he was at Yale University speaking to young people who, as you said, did cheer when he said, how do you end something that is already in the process of dying, referring to the United States of America. Those are just the facts there. Joe, we do have to leave it. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
Peter Savodnik on the Free Press, the freest of all press, wrote an article saying My latest on the Democrats is on Piker problem why Ezra Klein doesn't get it, and what has to happen next if the party wants to avoid 25 years in the wilderness. Okay? Yeah. When I want to hear about what liberals should do, what the Democratic Party should do, I go to the Free Press, which is a publication that basically operates as a propaganda mouthpiece for a foreign state, Israel, and is also the most pro-Trump outlet out there. What is this?
I am shivering right now, having just watched that footage of Hassan Piker saying that our country deserved 9/11.
I'm shivering right now. Okay, well, we don't have to watch Newsmax. Come on. Anyway. There is also Elon Levy, former spokesman for the state of Israel. Elon Levy. It's tragic to see the monumental self-sabotage of the Senate Democrats have performed because of Hassan Pikerization of their party. This is this is something that I never thought I would see. Because this is Hassan derangement syndrome. This is a telltale marker of Hassan derangement syndrome. The idea that Chris Van Hollen and Democratic Party senators are actually moving in this way against Israel for the first time ever in a very meaningful way, by the way. 40 votes is nothing to cast aside. It is an implication. It is basically the clearest example. You might say it's too little, too late, and I agree with that. But it's the clearest example that this is now going to be a partisan issue, right? It's over. Like Israel is losing the hill. Israel had complete dominance in the hill. Israel has to now move to just the White House and just the Donald Trump. That's the last bastion that they have of Israel defense. When they lose the uniparty approach to Israel in the hill, well, things are going to change dramatically in American foreign policy and certainly in the way that Israel conducts itself in the region. But the idea that someone like Chris Van Hollen is taking this approach now, not because of the events that have unfolded, but because he knows who I am and I've been able to convince him, is so idiotic. And the expectation, or I've heard this statement before, right? Like I've heard people say shit like this before. It's usually like Ethan Klein fans, people that have no understanding of politics whatsoever, people who treat politics like drama that surrounds like certain villains and certain characters that they watch and consume the content of. I wouldn't expect the motherfucking former spokesman of the state of Israel to say such a thing, right? Like this is a legitimate war criminal, right? Like an adult. And he's calling this the Hassan Pikerization of the party. Israel's your bravest, most dependable ally. We're crossing off your most wanted list, fighting your wars. You're spiting yourself, he says. It's so strange that they think like I am responsible for this, or they would rather associate my name with this initiative. It's very, very strange. Okay? Why are we spending an hour on posts with 160 likes? Did you not hear what I just said? This is the fucking former spokesman for the state of Israel, dude. Like, this is a person who was doing press releases for the apartheid state during the peak of the genocide. And his assessment of the situation is not that like Israel's actions have caused a serious fissure in the Democratic Party, which they previously had tremendous control over, and they've lost that control in a very meaningful manner. And by the next election cycle, hopefully, inshallah, Israel will completely lose control over the Democrats. They will no longer be able to dominate the Democratic Party as they did in the past. Because this kind of stuff was unthinkable, okay? And even then, it's too little, too late. But it doesn't matter. It's still fairly significant. It's like moving the needle in the right direction. It takes a long time. It should be faster. It's an injustice that it's not fast enough, that our politicians are not responsive enough, that the fact that Chuck Schumer is still, voting against this provision to block the bombs, like it's unbelievable to me. But it's a huge deal in comparison to where this like previous bills like this regarded by the Democrats in the Senate. Okay? I'll get to that in a second, though, because Eitan Nahin, who actually is, fairly sympathetic to anti-Zionism, he did a wonderful piece on Adam Friedland recently. He said it would be more substantive to not what? It would be more substantive to not to of the Ben-Gvirization of the Israeli government since he's in power and Hassan Piker isn't. Just last week, Smotrich announced the goal of the war is to expand Israel's border. The Dems aren't going to subsidize the war for the settlers. Yeah, Eitan Nahin is a Haaretz reporter in New York, and he actually recently wrote a he recently wrote a piece about Adam Friedland. Yeah, but he's right. He says it's probably a lot smarter to point to Ben-Gvir's impact on the Israeli government and even Benjamin Netanyahu's impact on the Israeli government and what the Israeli government has done that has caused this kind of backlash from the Democrats, previously loyal allies of the state of Israel, than some random fucking Twitch streamer, and he's right. This is very much on BB, yep, but for Hosmer, apparently it doesn't matter who's leading Israel and what policies they're enacting. It's in war or otherwise. Must be nice to live in a world where actions don't have consequences.